KalilaJohnson.com. And I am the CEO of Undefeatable University, an online training community for self-development. I am a generational impact and legacy strategist, as well as your undefeated life coach. And I'm here with a message. The message is breaking toxic relationship trends. Stop waiting to be chosen, and you choose. I want to give you this message because for many of us that grew up needing affirmation, or maybe we did not have enough affirmation, maybe low self-esteem, maybe we're getting out of something that robbed us of feeling worthy, relationships that that we didn't feel worthy in, whatever our background that caused us to need validation. I want to give you the encouragement. Someone told me this probably about a year ago, and they said, stop letting your friends choose you. And I think that was one of the most wisest dynamic things that I needed to hear, because in a lot of ways, of course, I analyzed a lot of the romantic relationships that I had that continued to rob me of self-esteem and that were abusive and that seemed to trigger a generational pattern of the women in my family. But there were still situations where I was still choosing or allowing people to choose me based off of things that never been qualifiers. Giving you an example, say for instance, in the place where I didn't have the greatest self-esteem, if someone smiled at me like, oh, you're my friend, or nice to me, or friends that seem to be around or gossiped with me, or just let me complain, whatever it was at that time, those were the qualifying factors. And those aren't qualifying factors to have strong foundational relationships, especially when you understand that there's purpose in you. When God starts to reveal a thing to you, I'll reveal a matter and said, hey, I created you for more than what you thought. I know that you think that your past has disqualified you, but in actuality, your past has only set you up to have to the place that I'm bringing you, and to be the demonstration that I am God and I can do all things with just a word. And so because of that, I understood that I had to start to evaluate how some of these relationships got in, because we're at a place right now that it's too important for where we're going and what God has planned. We hear it all the time that God has opened doors, and I'm seeing it happen in my own life. And so I know now that what are the requirements to be able to handle what God is doing? What the increase is, there's a requirement to the increase. And in order for me to handle that increase, I must be able to evaluate every relationship that's here. What can you do? What can you bring to the table? And if you got in on the lower me, which didn't have any standards or self-esteem, that all you had to do was say, you have a pretty smile, and I let you all the way in, I now have to reevaluate our friendship, and I now have to reevaluate the relationships around me and say, okay, well, based off of this, the last 3 times you called me, that you needed me. I don't really see that where when I needed you, you were there. I actually see that you're not bringing much to the table, and now I'm going to have to reevaluate. Maybe I exclude you from my life. Maybe I'm just going to demote you. But I have to make decisions based off of real analyzation of what is necessary for my life. And so I want you to get into the place where you stop letting people choose you, because I have to tell you, there are demonic alignments that choose people, and they are discerning. They will see the victimization in you. They'll see the low self-esteem and see that they can get over on you. And those are the type of relationships that will come to you and give you just what you need, and you'll just let them in because you don't know who you really are. And so now it is time for us to get to the place of evaluating, true evaluation. I'm going to look and take an account for everyone around me. And if you don't bring anything to the table, then I understand that when the time comes that God opens these doors, I need us to be able to go into position. You know what to do, let's go. Because what I don't need is for everybody scrambling, just waiting, and actually sabotaging me because they don't understand where I'm going, and why you gotta talk to those new people, why you ain't called me in a while. Like, listen, this is bigger than me. This is bigger than you. This is something where God is calling us to leave a legacy on the earth. And so when God says, I'm doing a new thing, let him do it. Let him do it all around. Everything around you should change. And it doesn't mean the people have to change. You can stay loyal to loyal relationships, but make sure those relationships have been loyal to you. We don't have time to continue to have these relationships that have chosen us based on the fact that who we used to be or who we knew ourselves to be. But now it's getting too important right now. It's too important to your future. They say that the 5 people that you hang around it's an indication of where you're going and where you're headed. Well, I want to tell you that you choose those 5 people. If the 5 people that surround you right now that have been given too much access because you didn't know who you were, well, it's time to reevaluate those relationships and replace those. And if you got to go through a season of quiet time until you actually know what it is that you want and need, do that. But what I don't want you to do is continue on the cycle of allowing these toxic relationship trends to keep going because you allow your friends to to choose you, or your relationships to choose you, and you keep finding yourself in cycles of bad relationships and you're wondering why. Well, because you didn't make a standard. If you don't make a decision to say, these are my standards and I'm not moving from these standards, this is what I deserve, and I'm not moving from my standards, I'm creating an evaluation process just as you would if you were hiring for your job. You're not going to just let anybody into the place of your business and saying, well, you know what, you said my shoes was nice, so you get to be the president. That's what we're doing in relationships. We're handing out way too much access for way too little in return. And so I need you to understand that you're valuable. You're way too valuable. I want you to start to appraise your pearls, and I want you to understand that God did not create you to throw those. That's why he keeps talking about stop throwing your pearls to swine. I mean, that's the word of the Lord. You have permission to choose better, because all this work you did, don't go back. Don't let you wanting to be nice and scared to be misunderstood keep you constrained to a place that can no longer contain you. And so I just want to remind you, I'm Kalila Johnson at KalilaJohnson.com. Please get on my mailing list. There's so much I want to be able to share with you. Transformation is intentional. Change requires commitment, and you are your greatest investment. In order to make impact, you must begin within. Until around this time tomorrow, I'm Kalila Johnson, your undefeated life coach. Have a blessed day.